Yeah, some people didn't come back. I'm saying, like, out of that dark hole, like, they didn't come back out of that dark hole.
It's like thousands of people just missing right now.
There's just like people slumped over on their couch just thinking about stuff.
It's just like a literal hole.
Yeah, it's just like a literal hole. People just go
in
into houses, just black holes. Like, what the hell?
How the hell is that?
What the hell is that? Like, yo, hey, come out.
Help! I'm stuck in this hole.
Welcome to another episode, Boy with the Boys. We got the boys as always. Scott, Brian,
staring.
Tim, and me.
Got
Christian.
a psychopath over here.
So let's get this started. Who has a topic today?
Well, Christian, I have a topic today.
Woo!
So I was thinking, since we're in the middle of a pandemic,
Boo.
I was thinking about life before, and I kind of wanted to know just what everybody missed about what they had
Life.
or were able to do before, all this BS started. That's pretty much it.
I think everyone's answer probably kind of comes around the same thing of like just the freedom to kind of do whatever. Like you can still do most things, but I mean, obviously there's certain things that are closed. Like we obviously enjoy concerts and stuff, which they don't have that. Like these big public events things, they don't really have that stuff. But just like the freedom to just be like, oh, I want to go do this or I want to plan for this. Like you just don't have that same kind of like
hanging out with your friends.
Yeah, just hanging out with friends or family without like, oh, you're gonna have a mask, or oh, you've been tested before. Oh, there was a positive thing, blah blah blah. And it's like just that freedom without worry, basically. I guess like that's
And most people are like, oh man, I don't remember with your original face how it looked like before.
Without the mask.
Yeah.
yeah.
Original
It's like
face.
I didn't recognize you without the mask on.
Yeah, like I know it'll get back to normal eventually, but it's like, I personally am like just so fatigued by this whole friggin' thing. Just like I said, you can still like go to the store or something if you want, but it's like I feel like you just can't do anything normal. It's just like every day you're just kind of like waiting. You're like in a weird cycle. You're not in a normal routine. You're in like some weird pandemic altered routine, and it's just like you're just waiting, and it's like I hate that. Like because there's not like this date is great. It's like even once you're like vaccinated, it's like you gotta wait until everyone is vaccinated and.
Yeah.
Well,
Or we have at
like
least
80%.
a good
I'd say, like,
percentage of
80%
it.
of people,
Yeah, whatever the percentage is that they said like reaches
I forget.
herd immunity.
I don't think
Yeah, it's like
anything
it's
is-
Well,
like
that's the thing
80
with that
plus.
too, because like not everyone needs it. Because if say like 95% of people have it, if like the 10% get it, the 95 or 90% they're not going to get it because they're already vaccinating, so it's fine. Like so,
That-
like
yeah.
once it hits a certain percentage, it's
Yeah,
fine.
I feel it's like 80 something percent. But yeah, so
Yeah.
it's like the finish line isn't even yourself getting it. It's like that percentage, and it's like at this point, like it's just a mess of a rollout, which is sort of
Which I think-
understandable. Like just because it's just so many people and it's all like fast. But I mean, there's still
And then
just
there's two different ones. Which one do you get? Like,
yeah. Well, I mean, there's two different ones, but there's only two different ones, which normally there isn't like multiple vaccines, but now there's still like
sure.
other ones waiting. So like if the other companies finish their things and got approval, we would have like 3 or 4 of them, and then it would be like way better because we'd have like a ton of doses. But vaccines aside, it's just like as far as pandemic as a whole, like being like almost a year later, I'm just tired
Pretty
of,
much.
of
I
not
know.
having
That's crazy.
that freedom to do whatever without fear. That's my answer.
Yeah, I agree.
yeah, I think it's like you said, it's pretty much kind of the same for everybody. Whatever your task was that you did before, like going to a rave or I don't know, doing
Just
whatever
anything.
it
Just
is you
simple
did
things
with
like
your
going-
buddies before you
Yeah.
did that. That's kind of what the main answer is.
Yeah, just like I know you guys haven't answered yet, but like we ordered takeout from Applebee's the other day, so I just went to like pick it up. But like like some people still go to restaurants and stuff, but like just going in there and looking, and it's like half the tables have people, and they all have these dividers up, and it's like the waiters have the mask, and it's like you can still go to a restaurant, but it's not the same experience of like all of us going to like Applebee's and like everyone's there and it's just having a good time and going bowling or something like. It's like
Yeah.
simple little things, like nothing crazy, like trips around the world. Like you just can't have like a night out, really. Like That's the stuff
Can't
that
even do
sucks.
it.
You're so secluded. Everyone's just like going crazy.
And for me, the part that gets me the most is at work. Obviously, I have to wear a mask too.
Yeah.
And I'm getting like sweaty and nasty at work and dirty. My mask is all dirty and shit. And it's just like, it sucks. I hate it. It's just,
Yep.
ugh, I can't breathe because I'm fat.
I think that's
So-
a different problem.
Oh, God.
But I
Yeah.
mean, the positive about the mask is in the winter, keeps your face warm.
It does actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Even like
So,
any
I
types
mean-
of.
I think a lot of people actually like with the mask, like it's not a problem. Everyone says they can't breathe. You could breathe fine, but like there's actually a lot of people that are like, oh, actually, I should probably have worn a mask, not like in the general public, but for like various things, like in like I said for your work, Brian. There's probably like certain things you did that probably required a mask that you probably
Yeah,
didn't have
yeah.
one.
Like,
Like
drilling right above your face, dirt's falling in your mouth and
yeah,
shit.
so it's like there's probably a lot of occasions where people are like, oh, actually, this is actually nice in this circumstance. Like, yeah, obviously you don't want to wear them walking down the street. Like, I hate that, but there's probably a lot of people that have like discovered things that they probably should be wearing masks for in general. Like I think Tim, your dad was saying the same thing. Like he was like, oh, I did one thing, and my mask was like black. He's like, I never used to wear a mask. I was like, well, that shit was going in your lungs before, so
Mm.
It's just crazy. Like when I was looking at the news, they were saying that not just COVID cases, but like regular flu sickness type things have been down since the whole mask situation.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Well, that's
so it's
mask
a-
plus,
it's the
like,
upside.
Distancing plus there's like everyone's like washing their hands and stuff, so it's like it just goes to show that like the flu is sort of controllable. Like for one, a lot of people got their flu vaccine this year, their flu shot this year that normally didn't, and then two, like people are just washing their hands and being more clean normally, so it's like
Hopefully,
hopefully
people are actually washing their hands more than they used to, though.
Yeah.
I think so. I mean, I'll personally
I'm
like if
not.
I go out somewhere and I come home
I would say
I'll-
I don't like. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not. I'm a little
like,
bit more,
well,
but to me,
like
like
when
the
I-
washing the hands thing isn't doing much.
When I use the bathroom, I'll wash my hands. That's about it.
Yeah.
yeah, I don't think
exactly.
like again they prove that it's not like the spread's not happening on surfaces and stuff, but like just
Yeah.
subconsciously, like if I go out and I come home, like before I start like playing with my kids or something, like I'll wash my
yeah.
hands, and normally I probably
Yeah.
wouldn't have, but now I'm just like, oh, back in my head, I'll wash my hands.
Yeah,
But,
if I
like-
know I'm doing something like that, like obviously,
But
like,
for,
if
like-
I know I'm touching a lot of things out in public
Yeah,
or
yeah.
something. But like, if I'm just like go, I don't know.
I think the biggest thing is like with the kids and schools and
Yeah.
daycares and stuff like that, like they
Yeah.
wash their hands way more than they used to. They used to, like I said, like Brian said, like if you go to the bathroom, but now it's like if you touch this or you leave your classroom or you do anything, then kids are usually the biggest spreaders for like the common cold and the flu and stuff like that. So like that alone, hopefully we learn some good healthcare things from all this stuff.
I just hope it's not like too much is my thing. I feel like you can wash your hands too much at the same time.
Oh no, I agree. Yeah, like all the kids' hands are like freaking cracked and like
Yeah.
Yeah.
uh,
But not even just
dry.
that. It's just like you have like good bacteria and you have like
Yeah.
your natural buildup to bad bacteria that you get from not washing your hands or just being like a little bit dirty.
Yeah.
That
True.
I feel like people are losing
But it-
their immunity.
But it's a good excuse
But-
just to make up something to say, hey, kids, you probably get COVID in your teeth, so brush your
That's-
teeth.
Terrible.
COVID
Why would you- that was
Dude.
awful. But
COVID
I get
tea.
it though. Like it's worth
Yeah.
what it's for. Like the
Yeah.
you know over
Yeah, I mean,
is
yeah.
worth it. But
there's definitely a line of like too much, and it doesn't probably
Yeah.
need to be this much going like in the future.
Uh-oh.
But hopefully there's. Oh, did I freeze or something?
for a second, but you're good.
I was just saying, like, hopefully, just in general, like general population,
Yeah.
we gain improvements in healthcare, like whether it's like individually or just like the companies themselves. Like, okay, like, 'cause right now, all like most doctor's appointments are like via telehealth. Like you call them and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So in general, like it's probably necessary unless you have like something physically wrong that you need to get seen. If you just have like something generic that you can just call someone and they can prescribe you like some cough medicine or whatever it is, probably better that you're not going to a doctor's office that probably has other sick people. Like there's things like that that probably should persist in the future. So like I'm sure there's examples of both, but I feel like there's certain things that will come out of this that hopefully will make things better in the future, but I
Yeah.
don't know. But
Yeah, it's kind of like Tim said. I know we kind of already talked about it, but there's got to be a point of balance. You know what I mean? Like, kind of what you're saying, Scott, and then also what Tim's saying. Like, all right, wash your hands, but you know, you also Like it's okay to play in the dirt, kind of thing. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's just
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't think they're like preventing kids from playing and that kind of thing. It's just
Well, no, that's fine. Yeah,
it's just trying to like, you know, numbers wise, like in schools you can only be around your people. So if you're in an area that aren't like the people that you're normally around, then you should wash your hands because it's like unknown of that room. So like that'll eventually go away, but
Yeah, that's
you
fine.
get it now. It's just kind of craziness.
Like I said,
but,
it's yeah, it makes sense.
but even like just in general, like the pandemic, I think has like shown a lot of things for Len, like a lot of work. Like my work, like I said, my office actually closed, not just because of the pandemic. It was multiple things, but this was like the final straw. But like since then, like now that everyone's used to it, there's no reason for us to like, or my company to like waste money on an office. So like there's a lot of work that went remote that probably has no reason to go
that
back.
never needed to be. Yeah.
And it's I mean, you lose like the human interaction and stuff like that. And even like my work used to spend like the travel budget that they have for like certain groups was so insane. People just traveling over for like nonsense reasons, and all of that has stopped. And it's like nothing's really changed. We still have business. We still have this. So it's like there's gonna be a lot of like shifts in how people work. Like a lot of like computer based jobs will probably be remote like most of the time, or like partial of the time, and work travel might like slowly increase, but maybe never go back to fully what it was. So it's like even the finish line of whatever this is, even if it's like a yearly thing, we have to get shots every year, whatever it is. But once we hit normalcy again, I feel like normalcy of what we hit is never going to be normal of what it was.
Yeah, there's going to be something that's kept.
Something's going to be changed. You know what I mean? Like whether it's like proving your shot for traveling or something, like maybe that's just a thing you have to do now. You have like, it's like on your license, you get something. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like they're going to be strict for a while. Like,
yeah.
I don't even know what normal, like what is normal that we're waiting for? Like, I don't even know.
I don't know. I think it will go back. Like you said, it will go back to normal, but not for a while.
Yeah.
Like it will go, but it'll be like a weird in
I
between.
mean, my normal
period
is
where
like,
things are okay, but it won't be normal. Like it'll be, like you said, like another year, and then maybe it'll go back.
I just
like,
want to go about my day without a mask, without being scared or avoiding people, and just do things. That's like, that's normal.
I just want certain things like back to like a normal, like in like hours of stores and stuff like that, because everything closes around a certain time.
Yeah,
it's really annoying that you have to like.
Christian likes to stay up until 3 a.m. and call UPS.
Go to Target and buy random things.
Like Wendy's is not open at 1 anymore.
Why are you going to Wendy's?
But that's like the best part, you get hungry at night.
I mean, that's the thing. Like,
you should be sleeping.
Stores and restaurants and stuff, that's gonna change forever too. Like, there's places that already closed that probably will never open again.
Bars, especially bars, they close at 9.
I know the gyms is a big one that a lot of people are upset about because they close like so early, and it's like most people go after work.
Yeah,
is when they can go.
There was
like
a story
and they made them close early. It's like, what the hell?
But this guy who owned a gym and he was getting fined like every day.
Oh yeah, he just kept staying open.
He just stayed open.
Yeah, but then they like arrested him or something, didn't they? They like did something.
I don't
crazy.
think they can. I don't even think they.
Well, I don't mean not arrested, but like towards the end, like they officially like the city like put a lock on it or something. I think,
which is stupid to me. Like I think the gym should stay open. Honestly, like if you go to a gym and you're working out at a gym, you're immune to anything.
but at the same time, like
you're not gonna catch COVID at a gym because you're already immune to everything.
Like at night, it doesn't get that like full.
Exactly. That was the other thing. Is that like the busiest hours. See, the thing is, like, some of the restrictions that sounded good on the outside did the complete opposite.
Yeah.
The gyms were busiest during, like, the mornings and the afternoons, honestly. And what they did was they made that window smaller.
Night, yeah.
They made the window smaller, so more people had to go during the busier hours. That doesn't help anyone. That just makes more people there at the busier hours. Instead of extending the hours so more people could go spread out. That makes more sense. But people get scared, they rush into things, and they make dumb laws that don't help.
Yeah,
like that's the problem.
That's the thing. It's like so much.
I know they're trying to do good.
Yeah, so much unknown happens. Everyone's like mad at politicians. Like there's bad decisions, but it's like it's so hard. And like you said, honestly, they should have gone back and it should be revisions. But it's like something happens, and all of a sudden, like right now, it's literally like the worst it's ever been. So it's like I don't know. I don't know. My thought is like it just sucks for like the owners of a lot of these places because there's probably a bunch of gyms, like personal, like private gyms that just won't open again. Like you can't just have a place that's closed, and it's like it's not. I don't know, and everyone's like gets like mad at like the politicians, like you're shutting down the businesses, and it's like I don't know, to a certain degree, like they could tweak things, but I mean, it's only so much you can do, and it sucks. Like if you're in a business that requires like a just revolving door of people like all the time, like you're gonna take a hit. So hopefully a lot of these places don't get impacted, because it would suck to see all like the privately owned places like go out and then just have all these chains left over. You know what I mean?
The smaller.
That's probably what's going to happen.
Yeah.
All these chain stores are going to buy out all these like mom and pop stores, or the stores that are just like 1 and 2 stores in the whole city kind of thing.
You know what stinks?
Like there's going to be 100 Subways. There's going to be 100 McDonald's. There's going to be like
yeah, because that process is just like it's there, it's cemented. Like you can't like shut down Subway. I don't know. Like, but like if you have a little
just
like
have so much money, they're fine.
yeah, a little tiny place that's like this guy and his family own it, and it's like they closed for so long, he blows through his savings. Even if they take a loan from the state, it's like yeah, I get that the state gives them the opportunity to make a loan, but a lot of places like if the loan is like what you're making, like you can't actually pay yourself. So it's like for some people it's probably good for like the mid-tier businesses that can like afford both sides of it, but for the lowest end of people, I get the state can't just give them money, and right now they probably can't stay open all the time. So it's like, what do you do? It just just like I said, everyone complains. It's like everyone's in the same boat. Everyone's feeling the heat of like this whole thing. Everyone's tired of it. It's just I don't know. It's been shitty.
You know what stinks is movie theaters.
I feel like that whole HBO
like
the whole HBO Max thing I think is gonna be a huge nail in
What
the
even is
freaking
Netflix, like it's gonna go like.
I mean, Netflix
them.
and all those have been doing it, but like I feel like the whole HBO thing where they're saying like same day you can pay money and get the movie that when it comes out, like that's I don't know. I feel like that's big. That's like the first huge step to like not needing a movie theater. Like yeah, you still like the movie theater experiences.
I would say I'd rather still go to.
Yeah, I would agree. I miss like going to a theater and like going there, going to a place, sitting with a big screen, like not in your own home, but
big comfy leather seat.
yeah, but there is a percentage of people that like are more comfortable like being home, like
Losers.
no, like what's the name of the like introvert, extrovert, like those people, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's people that enjoy movies.
I'm more introverted, but I still rather go to a movie theater.
That's what I mean. There's more
So
people
that's a
that like,
lie.
enjoy movies but don't really like being like in the public thing. So it's like I feel like they're already taking steps to like get away from that. So
Which I don't like, because in the long run, like you said, like less human interaction.
I know, and it stinks. It's like
bad.
it's a
That's
nice
just bad for
option, but at the
everyone.
same time, it's like yeah, I wanna go out. Like you still need things that you need to go out and do. If you can achieve everything from home, it seems good and efficient, but it's actually like defeats like human nature. I don't, it's not really. I don't think it's trying to control you. It's just setting you up for like. I don't know. Like it's not. I don't
Like
know.
you said, human nature. It
Yeah.
is. Like some people, like you said, are introverted, extroverted. But it is human nature to have social interaction.
Yeah,
and
you
it's like
can't-
shows you've seen it in like the studies and stuff because of the lockdowns. Like depression has gone up and stuff like that.
hell yeah.
And that's a big part of it is the social interaction, and people don't realize that you need that. No matter how introverted or extroverted you are, like whether it be your close group of friends, if you're like introverted, you just have like a couple of good friends or like a lot of friends. Either way, that's human nature, and that's like part of it. It's like we need to go out and interact as humans. Like that's what it is. And it's like this whole thing just putting a cap on that and just like killing everyone. Sucks.
It's like it's like the pandemic plus like all these things that they're updating, and it's like now there's more ways to get like food to your house and more things. So it's like we come out of this, we're like, oh great, we're free, whatever the end goal looks like, and then it's like, oh, like 80% of the things I used to go out for, I actually already changed my routine, and now I just do them in my house. Like it's ordering food or getting a movie or whatever it is, like making a coffee, you know what I mean, anything. And it's like, do you everyone just flip and go back to normal, or is it like social interaction is just like down now? You know what I mean?
For us, we get like the diapers and wipes just automatically delivered like once a month.
Same.
We get oh my god, I don't know, some other thing delivered like on a cycle, so we don't have to go out and get it.
Yeah, because
we get our like groceries. Either we do it for pickup at the store, or we just have somebody like bring them to the house.
Yeah, and like I said, there's some stuff that's probably good for efficiency, like the whole grocery thing. Like sometimes people don't mind going in the grocery store, but for others it's like kind of a chore. So it's like it's good for an option to have it to pick up and make it faster. But Yeah, hopefully,
I
like when we
get
come out of this, social
As long as
interaction
you-
isn't just a
Yeah.
fraction of what it was.
As long as you balance it, like if,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
say if after this you still don't go out grocery shopping, hopefully you go out and do other things. You know what I mean? Like even me, like before this, I never really went out like a lot. Like I have a smaller group of friends and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I started to go out like towards the end of it more with a couple of friends, and I'm like I kind of enjoyed it more. But now that it's like I can't go out at all, now it's like I know when this is over, I'm gonna try to do more things.
Yeah, exactly. Like you're gonna
Like
like
it
come
showed
back
me,
for it.
like, yeah, I'm gonna come back even more because like
Yeah.
before I never did. Like honestly, like this whole thing isn't. Not much has changed for me. Like I played a lot of games and stuff like that. Like I went out here and there, but like I never stopped working through the whole thing because like I was an essential worker being in auto parts, so we
Yeah.
never shut down and never stopped working. But so that didn't change, and then I usually just like the home like play games or something, or like go over to your house or something like if you live super close. So it's like not much has changed for me at all.
Yeah.
But
That's
I
the
know
thing.
after this, like I want to do more when it's over.
That kind of goes to like a question that I was gonna ask, which kind of fits into this. Is like, I was gonna ask more in general of like in the year 2021, but I guess like from the pandemic, like, have you found something like, whether it's in the new year, like that you want to do, or like through the pandemic, like one thing that you hate that you do or that about yourself that you want to change, and then one thing that you want to like learn or start doing. Like I said, either just like kind of as like a new year thing, or like something you've learned about yourself throughout the pandemic. Like one thing you hate, you want to change, one thing you want to learn and start doing.
Stop eating more and work out.
Stop.
So
eating.
is that like just a random New Year's thing that you like kind of cycle every year, or is this like a
Yeah.
pandemic thing that you
Pandemic, more stupid demic.
stupidemic?
It is a stupid demic.
I agree. So through the pandemic, you found that like your eating habits, did it get worse, or you just realized how bad they were?
I just got worse.
Got worse. Nice, honest. I agree. I mean, I'll admit, like, I guess it goes back and forth. Like like Brian said, like, or I think Tim said, like, depression's on the rise. So it's like, I don't normally deal with that, but there's like some days it's like, oh my god, like it feels like
Anxiety too.
yeah, anxiety gets you, and like just everything gets you, and you just eat like crap, and you do nothing. Like so I don't know.
For me, I find myself having more like short term, just random bursts of like, I don't want to call it anger, but just
Irritability.
I get yeah, just and like the smallest thing just kind of like sets me off, and then I just start bitching about the little things. And then like 20 seconds later, I'm like, what the fuck was I thinking?
Yeah,
That was
like
so
why were you
stupid.
so mad? Yeah, so that you think that's
why I
like
everyone is on edge.
you think that's like a pandemic thing, just like being cooped up, you're just done with it, you just something like that, or is that more of like
kind of? I never did that before this. I feel like maybe I did it, but not as much. I feel like this is kind of like bringing that out of me, if that makes any sense.
yeah?
So yeah, that's something I definitely don't like. That's come from this.
So is there something that you like through all of this you think you would want to change? Like obviously that's something you want to change, but is there something else that you're like, man, like throughout all this I realized I really want to, start doing this or whatever?
I don't know. I'm not sure right yet.
I know you mentioned in our chat the other day, Brian, like the whole procrastination and kind of using your time more wisely.
Yeah, that's kind of one thing. I kind of realized I was bad at it before.
Yeah.
But now that like I don't know, there's just less to do. It's kind of moving to the top of the list, and it's kind of right in front of my face. So yeah, I feel like I need to be better with my time and how efficient or how I don't know how I make my time useful.
Yeah,
That's
like
kind of
even if you were bad with it before, just now where it's like now you're home and stuff, you're like, oh, actually I could be doing something, and yeah, I get that.
Yeah, I'm the same way though too with that. Some days-
Procrastination.
Well, the only thing that's good that came out of the whole COVID thing is our podcast in our gaming network.
But if you think about it,
YouTube.
like when I approached you guys with this idea, it wasn't really.
A big thing. Yeah.
Well, I approached you with the idea of like doing
yeah.
like console LAN type parties. Like it sort of evolved into this because of that. So like COVID didn't create Board with the Boys. It evolved it into this virtual thing, which I mean, I don't regret any of it. We've taken it and we've run with it as such. But the original idea that we talked about on Facebook chat a long time or whatever, a year ago, was like, let's all get together on a couch and like film us playing old school, like not even like new, like right now we're kind of playing like new games and like all different stuff. But like the original idea, at least what I thought of it as, was like, let's go retro and like plug in a PS1 and play like
or card games or something.
yeah, like that kind of stuff. So I feel like COVID shifted our ideas. We had to like adapt to it, but the idea kind of came before it was really like a bad thing. It must have been like right at the same time. I don't remember exactly when, but it must have been like
pretty close, yeah.
Right at the beginning of that year, like right before like it really became like a thing.
Now it's just new. Well, it's a good thing for us just because it's a learning curve, just because we're learning more on certain things that we never even tried.
That's
or
true.
like how Tim is learning the whole video editing process.
Yeah.
And he's never done it before.
Well, I think it's nice
Like,
because it's actually like probably for all of us, but like it's given us like something to do and chase
gives
like
us-
during the pandemic.
this
like-
is an extra hobby.
Sort of an escape.
Yeah, like the one thing that I'll answer my own questions. Like the one thing that I did a lot before that kind of I realized was silly more so in the pandemic is like for like the longest time I was always very like I want to call it like event driven or like moment driven, where like everything I did was just like getting to something, like getting to the completion of a project, getting to like the next concert. So like I would just like subconsciously run through like 2 weeks of time,
Count down the days.
and I was just
to
like
whatever was
autonomously
done.
doing things, just kind of like getting to that moment. So it's like I was like skipping or like wasting my time, not like really living in the day, because I was just living towards that moment, or like, man, this is gonna be great when that concert comes or when this project is done. So like I wasn't living it, I was just like heading towards that moment. And then-
Autopilot kind of.
Yeah, and like I did that a lot, and even though I don't mean to do it, like you just find yourself like every day just like getting to that next moment. Oh, we have that UFC card, or oh, I'm gonna go out to eat with my family and next weekend, and it's just like your mind is occupied for that for the week, and you like that week becomes a blur and you did nothing. But like with the pandemic, there was no events. There was no like anything to look forward to really. You're just like there, just hanging out. So like I had to kind of, the one thing I want to change is that I want to like get away from that mentality. Like everyone wants to live day to day, but I want to get to as close to that as I can, even though every day can't be this crazy exciting thing. But I want to get away from the just looking forward to like that moment, that event, that like good fun thing in the future. Because I feel like it just kills your days and your weeks, and you just lose time.
Yeah.
But I think like this whole Board with the Boys was like really big because as much as all those moments went away and like you have like anxiety and depression, all this stuff, like this was like one thing that I was just constantly like trying to like think about or like work on. So it was kind of like a busying thing to keep my mind busy and like a goal to just kind of strive to. So I'm thankful that we did do this, because I feel like if we didn't have this, and we might have still tried to like play a game or whatever, but we wouldn't have got cameras and all this stuff, so we probably
we
wouldn't
have got these
done a
ring
whole
lights
lot.
and the fancy strip lights and all this.
Yeah, we might
whatever
have all done like a random console game or something together, but like I don't know what I would have like put my energy into. Like I couldn't even answer it. Some other random project or just like nothing. Like
It's just
like
so
got
weird
depressed.
how,
You know what I mean? Like I don't know. So like for
Just so
something I
weird
want to
how-
do, I guess the procrastination thing is big. I want to obviously get better at that. Everyone's could get better at that. But the thing I want to change is that whole moment lifestyle, I guess.
Yeah, it's so weird how you came back to gaming again. Because the last time I played with you was Destiny.
Yeah, it's just like I was always on my computer, but my console is not here. It's like downstairs, and I just never went downstairs and played. So yeah, this is like a nice way back into gaming, because I was always like, I haven't gamed in so long. So this is like a nice a path to start doing that again.
Once you can get your stress out, start
Yeah.
yelling at things.
Well, I'll admit, I think my time away helped me not get super pissed. I think I like got rid of a lot of that stuff.
your inner Tim comes out of you.
My inner
Yeah,
Tim.
the
I
inner
mean,
Tim,
everyone
I'll
still gets
call it.
mad, but yeah, I haven't raged since we've started doing this. So,
Is
and I
that why
used to
that
like
window behind you is smashed out, Scott? Is that why?
I mean, when I used to play with Christian back in the day, like old Call of Duties and stuff, I'd be like punching myself with a face, like.
You've told me that.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Look, I was like in my parents' house, so I could only do.
Yeah.
I couldn't
You
be
wanna
like
punch
super
himself?
loud, so I would like I would have to hit myself so that like because it forces you to stop because it hurts.
You just punch. Yeah, you get a punch on your own.
You just punch different body
legs.
parts
Yeah, you just
until
punch
you
your
can't
body
punch
parts
yourself
and then
anymore.
just like, okay, this hurts. I'll stop. I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
But all right, Tim, what do you think for that? My answer was really long winded, but
I mean, I kind of answered it with like the going out more. Like I want to change.
Oh, that's
that
true,
Part
that's
of
true.
it. Like as far as
is that
Like I
something
said
you want to do
before,
more?
I
But is
kinda-
that something that you kind
I-
of like found that you didn't like about yourself, or
well, I'll say that. I kind of both, because like I said too, like nothing really changed much for me, so I don't know. Obviously, like I said too, the procrastination thing. Obviously, there's times where I'm like just super lazy. I don't want to do anything. I could definitely do something more productive with my time, but I think that kind of just going out more. I think it's kind of both. Like I realize it's kind of weird. I realize like how much I didn't go out by not going out more. If that makes any sense. And like now I want to do it more.
now that
it's
you've
like
done it,
now I
you
don't have the
realize-
ability to do it. And it's like, man, now I want to. Now I'm like craving that like thing.
Mhm.
yeah, it's funny because
It's like now I want to do it.
I saw your comment on the yes.
Oh, yeah, the yes
fan.
theory?
It was so random. I was just
You
scrolling.
did.
I was like, what? Like Tim's comment. Like it's. I
That
don't
was
know
the
why
first
it-
time.
I don't
That
know
was the
why it
first time I
popped up.
ever commented on anything
Oh.
on the yes theory thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw
I
it.
mean,
And I
I-
was just looking. I was like, I'm gonna
I
make
read
a
it and I was
comment.
like, shit. Yeah, I mean, I agree. It's almost like you procrastinated being social,
Yeah.
and then because you procrastinated, you lost the time.
Yeah.
I guess it's similar to like the answer I gave. It was like, I was just always like living for like that next thing, and then like a week would go by, and instead of like using the week to like do something, I was just kind of like counting down the days type of thing.
All of our answers are a little bit similar in their own way. I feel like, yours, Scott, like instead of just waiting for this one specific day, you kind of want to make each day, feel like it's not being wasted.
Exactly.
Where mine was kind of like the same thing, just kind of make every day the best day that it could be, time wise, efficiency wise. And Tim's is sort of kind of also the same, where maybe not each day every day he wants to go out, but a couple times a week he wants to go out and snowboard or I don't know, climb rocks or whatever the hell he wants to do.
Climbing rocks.
That sounds
They're
fun.
kind of the same basic principle. You just want to do more with your time.
Yeah. I mean, it's
That's the thing that like messed me up. Like I was trying to build myself a goal to go out more because I was more indoors and focusing on things from my personal stuff. And then eventually, like I got to that point where I am like, all right, I can do things that I couldn't do. And then COVID came, and I'm like, back to day one.
it doesn't just pause. It like sets you back, which like sucks
Yeah.
because like wherever you were, it feels like you got set back, which is hard.
I was like,
It's easy
like
to
I started.
go ahead.
I started to go to like events and stuff like in Boston and stuff like that, like comic conventions and like gaming conventions and stuff like that. I never done that before as often, but like I'm trying to explore the more horizons than what I didn't do back then.
Similar to me, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's
Yeah.
easy to say like live every day to the fullest. Like that's what everyone says, every inspirational thing. It's
Yeah.
like, but if you really think about it, it's like it is true. Like how many days do you just don't remember? You know what I mean?
Or you
Like,
just sit there all day like,
yeah.
oh, this is silly.
And
what
again,
am I
not that you can
doing?
like, you just can't do something crazy every day. Like even the
Yeah.
people that you see online, you're like, man, I want that guy's life. Like he probably spends half of his day like editing a photo or something. You know what I mean? So you don't see like the bad parts. It's like there's gonna be just days that aren't crazy exciting, but it's like the idea of trying to just like not waste time is like it sucks sort of because it's good to chase, but if you like have a day that you don't do it, you just feel like total crap. Like at the end of the day, like Tim said, if he has like a lazy day, he's just kind of like, oh, whatever. But the next day, you're not okay with the previous day. You're like pissed at
Yeah.
yourself because of it.
At the time, you're
At the
like,
time,
yeah,
you're
it's
like,
okay.
whatever, another day.
Yeah.
But then,
Like I spent this vacation and I didn't do nothing.
Yeah, and it sucks because it's like the next day you're like, oh god, and like you regret it so much, but then regret is so pointless because you can't change it. But then the next time it happens, you're like you know you're doing it again, and you like know you're doing it, but you're like, I don't know, tomorrow, and it's like,
Yeah.
and I hate that, and it's so hard to get
Which
out
is-
of, but
Yeah, and it's okay to have those days. Like
Yeah, it's
sometimes,
okay.
like you need your days, your break days, or your
relaxed
lazy
day.
days, or days are just there.
Sit back
Even
on
with the
the
eating
couch.
thing, sometimes you eat a couple like junk things. That's fine. But it's
Not for me.
every now and then, it's fine.
Every day.
not for 1
No.
a.m. Wendy's from Christian,
No.
but
Yeah.
Not anymore.
So it's okay. That's the thing too. You need to like realize when it is okay to do that. Like that's perfectly fine. You
Yeah.
just have to do less of it and more of balanced stuff. And
yeah, like I said, like
You
you
gotta stop eating pizza.
Yeah, like you said, Tim, it's a balance. You can't be just like on 100% every day because you'll burn out or whatever. But you can't also be on like it's zero every day either. Like if you get to a point where like you're mad at yourself, then you're definitely way too low, like in that balance. That's hard. Like
Just don't hate yourself.
has anybody watched that new movie Soul on Disney?
Yeah.
You watched it,
I've seen
Christian?
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Like we just watched it today, but like the whole thing was kind of like this guy. He's like a teacher, and he's like he's a musician. Wow, that's hard to say.
Magician. He's doing magic.
And he like gets like a really good gig, like the gig of his life, and he thinks it's
Yeah.
gonna like change his life. And then like that day, he dies, and then like he's like a soul, like a little soul. And he's like going around, and they're like, okay, you're dead, like you gotta move on. And he just like can't accept it. He's like, I just like got the thing of like the gig of his life, and like throughout the whole movie, it's like him realizing that like that's not really what he even wanted. Like he was living the life that he wanted the whole time, but he was in that same thing where he was just like he didn't care about his day to day because he was chasing that one big thing that he wanted. So like
So
towards
he missed all the time.
yeah,
that
so
he
like at the end he kind of said like, oh, I did live the life that I wanted, even though like he was basically living like a sad person because he thought he didn't have what he wanted because he was chasing it. And like the last line of the movie is like this whatever weird creatures that are in the movie, they like give him another chance at the end because he like helps this other thing. So they're like, oh, we'll give you another chance. So they like they let his soul go back to his body. And then at the end he's like, oh, like I'm now never gonna waste another minute of my life because he realized that like his life was like what he actually wanted.
Spoilers for all the viewers.
yeah.
Yeah, sorry. I'll put that in the
Well, you
comments.
kinda- yeah.
But like, I mean, it was a good movie. I think you
Yeah.
could tell that from the commercial.
No,
Besides the part
Pixar
at that,
is
Yeah, it's
amazing.
pretty new.
Pixar is
Yeah.
amazing with their story detail. Like even though it's for like kids, but it's for
Oh, yeah.
adults too as well.
That's
It's a
the
learning
thing.
curve.
yeah, they do a
They,
good
like,
they do a good job like staying out of like the religious aspect of it, and they keep it kind of general. But like it really hits you in certain parts of like what they're trying to portray, and like when it ends, you're like, shit, like it's true. Like we're all like kind of chasing one thing, but like if you're missing on like your life that you're actually living day to day, that's kind of what we've been talking about. Like you don't realize it when you're in it, but like if you were to like step back from it, like the movie does, like the guy dies and he gets pulled away from it, and then he gets to see it. He's like, oh, he's actually living his life every day, and then like, but he wasn't enjoying it because he didn't think that's what he wanted.
Yeah, they do a good job. Like they capture kids' attentions with the animations and funny things, silly things, but
Yeah.
then like the deeper concepts and
There's
themes
still a meaning.
that are more deeply rooted in there that sometimes sometimes kids will pick up here and there, but like the adults pick up on. So they do a really good job.
Yeah, like the kids won't get it, but the adults will be like, I get it.
Well,
Yeah, so
like-
even some
Like
shows,
Landon
yeah,
just
they do,
watched it and he was just like, okay, like some animated, colorful movie. But at the end, we were just like,
Yeah.
whoo.
Yeah.
wasn't it like Casper? You said that was like, oh man, this is not for kids.
Oh yeah, afterwards.
Well, yeah.
That's-
I mean,
that's
I think
completely
that's
different.
not just Casper. I think that's just movies back in the day just weren't
Yeah, it's a
to
time
the
thing.
same. They were more lenient than they were now.
Even cartoons. That's just
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's just what it was. Like if you watch like Ren and Stimpy from like 20 years
Yeah.
ago, like you
Yeah.
that can't be on
That
TV
was kind of
today.
bad. Yeah. I kind of like I'm in between that. I'm in between like going back a little bit because I don't like where we're going, but
Yeah.
also not all the way back.
Well, yeah, and I say like you
Yeah.
can't have that on TV. I just meant by like today's standards. Like
Yeah,
there
yeah,
are a
yeah.
lot of
No,
standards
yeah.
I don't agree with, but there are a lot that like I do agree with. Because if you go back, like
Yeah.
there's a lot of racist stuff, a lot of sexist stuff.
Yeah,
like those
yeah,
things,
that's what I mean.
those things
Really bad
probably
stuff.
don't need to be there. But like some of the censorship for like certain things are probably unnecessary. But like
Stupid.
yeah, if you go
They
back
don't
in the
wanna
day, there
become
was some
too-
like some crazy racist and sexist type
Yeah.
stuff. stereotypes and
sexual,
whatever.
sexual, even some like super sexual jokes. Of, like,
It's
shows.
just so weird how they judge it now and not judge it back in the day.
Oh, I don't know. Like now I don't know where all that comes from, but it's all like the whole entitlement. Everyone's like offended by everything. So like right now is probably like the most censored like we've ever been. Hopefully it doesn't get worse than this, because I feel like
it's already ridiculous.
it's already like kind of
it's
crazy.
awful.
But then I don't know. I mean, if you watch like current stuff, like I don't know if it's just bad to us because we're like older now. Like there's certain like kid programs I'll watch and it's just like it's like total ass. Like I don't know if it's just like that's just the program, or if that's just because like of where things have gone. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's hard to say because you're viewing it completely different minded than you would have back then. Whereas if you watch something back then now, it might look stupid, but you might have loved it back then. So it's like kind of goes with how you grow up.
Yeah.
Oh, the times. The times have changed.
Times have changed. And they're gonna keep changing.
Yep. Oh man, it's crazy what a pandemic can make your mind think about when you have all this time.
It's just you would have never imagined
weeks.
it would get to this point.
I know.
It still
That's
is
what I was about to say,
crazy.
that.
Like Tim said,
never thought
like
I'd go
for
through
him, he
this
wasn't really
in a
affected,
lifetime.
and like, I mean, I guess I was affected, not like health wise or anything, but I mean, I was affected in other aspects of my life. But it's for the most part, it's like I don't know, like you wake up, you're like kind of doing whatever. It's like you go outside, it's like a sunny day, you're like walking down the street or something. Like it doesn't seem like this. Like if you like read about it and you like see the numbers of what's happening, you think you'd like walk outside and they'd be like bombs dropping and stuff. Like it seems like it's like it's a war right now. But like you just go outside and it's just like, oh, it's just like a peaceful day. It's like it's such a weird thing. I don't know.
Was the same time, like there's always an event that something happens, and then like it won't go back to normalcy for a while. Like war itself, like people have been to like World War II and stuff like that, and like Iraq and stuff. How we were so we didn't have too much security at the time, but now we look back on it, and like everything is like what the hell we do back then? Like
we just fought wars all the time.
I get what you're saying. It's kind of like what we said before, where it's like
you're trying to say.
when we come out of this, hopefully like we like learned things and like mistakes like that were made previously to like help prevent this. But yeah, I don't know, like a pandemic just is like a easy to say word now, but like 2 years ago or 3 years ago, if someone said like, oh, what happened if there was a pandemic, like you would think of it very differently than how you think of it now. You know what I mean? Now it's just like, oh, a pandemic. Like it's like so easily to say because like we're all sitting here, we're still talking to each other. Like you think it would be worse, even though it is really bad. I don't know. I guess that sounds bad when I say you think it'd be worse. Like it is worse. It is really bad. But
like before, when I thought about pandemic, I thought like, the end of the world kind of.
Yeah. And not to say to obviously people watching, listening, like not to say this is not bad. This is obviously like very bad, but it's perceived very weirdly for the people that aren't being directly affected by it, which is probably part of the problem why a lot of people aren't following the same restrictions. Is like if you don't see it from that perspective, like I said, you just go outside and you say, oh, I'm gonna go for a walk, and just a nice day, going for a walk. You come home, you just eat lunch, like just hanging out. Like you don't. It's not like there's no war going on. There's no end of the world. It's not like gray skies every day. It's just like I don't know. It's just weird to think that how we got here. I would have never imagined that this would be a thing and that we would be like in quarantine and everyone would be in masks and stuff. Like,
yep.
There's like a meme I saw. I think it was just on Facebook. It was like, oh, in 5 years you're gonna reach into your pocket. You're going to find a mask and you'll pull it out and you're going to laugh to yourself and say, oh, I remember that year. And it's like, and then you're going to put your helmet back on and you're going to run from the marauders trying to like steal your family for meat or something like that.
Yeah.
It was just like basically like the start of like the apocalypse.
You're like, oh, the good old days.
It's like, as you like defend yourself and your family from like passing marauders or something.
Yeah.
It's just like funny, like because it's kind of crazy. Like you think it's gonna keep getting better, and it just keeps getting worse. Like, what if there is no?
Hasn't gotten better.
Like, let's get dark for a second. Like, what if there is no better? Like, what if this literally just goes and like every person gets it, it mutates, and it just freaking.
That's my concern. Like, even if like the vaccines didn't work or they didn't get a vaccine, it would eventually get better by like nature would like just people would like it's sad people would die, but like people would get it and it would eventually just stop going away. Like a lot of people would die. That sucks. But
Yeah.
that's my concern too. That like it mutates or it gets worse or another thing pops up after it, and then we're just in this cycle of just like fighting this never-ending like new thing or
I mean the
evolving.
like the mutation thing. Like
like
I was reading about it, and it was like the current vaccines like prevent against like the way that it affects your body, not necessarily the virus. So even if it mutates, we're good against this. But like you said, like what if this is like no one saw this coming, and like even though it's like it's part of like SARS and we already knew about that, it's like another thing. But like there's still things we don't know. Like what if it's like this takes like another couple years, and it's like okay, we're kind of back to normal, and it's like boom, like this other random ridiculous thing, like we freaking iceberg melts and there's like some freaking ridiculous disease in there from like a million years ago.
Or
You know what I
I think we touched. I mentioned it once. I forget where it was. It was somewhere.
It was like the
over,
plague,
like,
right?
Yeah, it was the
yeah.
bubonic plague. Like
And like
a
that's
deer unfroze, and then it released the bubonic plague to.
Yeah, that's insane.
And like that's like super scary. Like the plague, I don't know have numbers, but like it was really bad. It was really bad. And like I don't think you had like as like cure rates as you have for COVID. People like recovering. It was really bad. So it's like.
Well, back then they didn't have technology.
Well, that's the thing too.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it wouldn't be as bad today.
Yeah, we have like technology and stuff, and even if something else pops up, we probably have the science now to keep developing and getting better and better. But it is kind of like a dark way to think of it because every day it's like it's not really getting better. It's like it's getting worse, and it's like, what if this just really is what it is? Like everyone's just waiting for what the end is, and it's like this is kind of it. That's kind of scary to think about, and it is. It defeats the purpose of what we've just been talking about of the whole living day to day.
Yeah, I'll put some ease into some people, but I know like when a lot of times, most of the time, when a virus mutates, it becomes less deadly because the whole point of a virus is to live. It's a living thing, and if it's too deadly, if the virus is killing too many people, the virus dies because it has no host.
Yeah.
So most of the time, when a virus mutates, it becomes more contagious but less deadly. So hopefully, like I think they've already said
that's where we're heading.
With some of the strains, like it could become more contagious, and more people can get it, but the symptoms will be like less severe.
A little bit less every time.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully that's where we're heading. The vaccines, and it's trending upwards. And like I said, not to derail our whole like. Trying to like live every day to the fullest. Like, you should never like go down the rabbit hole, which I think is one of the things everyone did at some point during the maybe not everybody, but like most people did during the quarantine is like a few days you just went down the darkest hole you could of like whatever your fears are and stuff like that, and that probably messed up a lot of people.
Yeah, some people didn't come back. I'm saying, like, out of that dark hole, like, they didn't come back out of that dark hole.
It's like thousands of people just missing right now.
There's just like people slumped over on their couch, just thinking about stuff.
It's just like a literal hole.
Yeah, it's just like a literal hole. People just go into houses, just black holes. Like, what the hell?
How the hell is that?
What the hell is that? Like, hey, come out!
Help! I'm stuck in this hole.
No, but I agree. There's a lot of people that are just they changed mentally or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah. Physically.
I mean, you're gonna have like COVID PTSD for the people that probably like really did get affected or lost family members. Like, you're never gonna like go back to normal. Like, we've been lucky that we haven't like lost anybody, but I mean,
that's what I was gonna say. Thankfully, I've been pretty much for the most part completely unaffected. I didn't lose my job. Like, no one that I knew got sick.
Yeah, like, so like that's we're lucky in that sense, but it's like it does suck, and I feel bad. Like once people it gets better. Like I heard on the radio, people were like, 50% of people when they get their shot are gonna party with their friends, and 60% of people are gonna go out to dinner. And it's like, well, those are the people that weren't really necessarily affected and just want the shot so they can feel normal. But I mean, there's a lot of people that just won't get back to normal, like families that were just like obliterated for some reason. Yeah. It's like it does suck that what we're chasing for normal and we're like ready to go do a concert. Like there's like 2 million people that have died, which is like ridiculous. Very somber.
I'm kind of messed up though. Yeah, I'm kind of like morbid though.
I know.
Obviously, I know it's sad and I feel bad for that, but at the same time, it's just like my perspective is like it does suck and it's sad, but it's like kind of is what it is at the same time. Like, I don't mean to say that like
Yeah.
in a bad way. Like, obviously the people that like, who've had people die, that's not their mind. But like for me, in my life, like I know it's sad, but I still have to go live my life to the fullest and like do my life. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
after this.
Yeah. I mean, people die every day. It's sad.
Yeah.
Could a lot of this have been
Normal.
prevented? Probably, but you never know what could have happened. So, like I said,
Yeah.
if you were affected, you have every right to
Oh yeah.
mourn or do whatever. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
each person has to kind of live
Their own thing.
live their own life.
Yep.
If we can collectively get out of this, so
Yeah. So let's hope for the best.
yeah,
It's coming. We'll get there. It's
I
coming.
think we're getting there.
yeah, slowly but surely. I would like
Turn the
to,
corner eventually.
yeah, I would like to get this back to our original.
Idea.
I mean, obviously it's evolved, and I feel like we're still very small, but I feel like our mindset is way bigger, and we've expanded already much
Yeah.
more than what our original plan was. Which the plan was more of like just kind of hanging out in a way to like make something from it. But now it's like we actually have a schedule and we're like doing these things. But it would be nice to expand on that stuff, not just like getting together, which we if we all quarantine or whatever, we probably could get together, but like having the freedom to get together or like go out somewhere or do something, like it would be nice, or even like incorporate other people. You know what I mean? We said bringing other people on for like a bigger game night, like a card night or something. Have like 20 people at some place would be like really cool to like make a video for, but that's like far away. So it'd be nice that we're still surviving now and we'll evolve and get better as the world gets
That's the
better.
goal. Forward with the voice. Improve.
Yep.
Improvement all the way.
Evolve.
Adapt.
Control.
Change.
Just throwing out words.
It's the same words. Butter.
Pasquale's.
Salami.
Pasquale, what is that?
Garlic
It's
nuts.
some restaurant up here.
Yeah.
What? Pasquale's? It's a
It's not how you
crazy
pronounce
ass
it.
name
It's
for a
an
restaurant.
Italian restaurant. Pasquale's.
Hey, my Pasquale's already.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Shout out to Pasquale's. Greatest garlic nuts.
What? Greatest. Oh, do they have garlic nuts? Pasquale?
Ooh. I don't know.
Pasquale.
We need to just like buy garlic knots one day and just like eating them, like don't say anything, but just be like eating garlic knots while we're like playing a game
Just
one day.
like, yeah.
Eating some nuts.
Everyone has to watch like an episode of like Boy with the Boys to figure out where to find each
Eating
like
garlic
secret times we eating garlic nuts.
There's like a secret message that just says buy our garlic knots.
You get one free garlic knot if you figure.
Yeah, we gotta like call Texas Toast, be like, can we get like a branded box or something?
Boy with
Board
the
with the
Boys
boys
nuts.
garlic nuts.
Here we go again, talking about garlic knots.
I know.
It's just never ending garlic
I
nuts.
don't even remember how that
Too.
started, to be honest.
I think I just said garlic knots.
It was,
wasn't garlic
it was
nuts,
if you
no.
had $1 million, what would you spend it on? And I think Christian said garlic nuts.
Was it?
Somebody said garlic
I
nuts.
think I just said garlic.
I think somebody
nuts.
said something and it sounded like that, and then it just
Who
turned into that.
knows?
Anyways,
Anymore.
all right.
It's
Well,
the
I
end.
guess- yeah, I guess we'll cut it there on our entire COVID talk, but I guess we've been putting it off, so it's kind of good now that we're
Yeah, that's
sort
true.
of getting better to kind of like talk a little bit about it.
touch on it a little
Hopefully,
bit.
we didn't offend, and we tried to stay neutral, talk about more about ourselves. But
Positive.
yeah, well,
As always, follow us on the socials: YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Now we're just starting to do Twitch streaming.
yeah,
So
catch us live on Twitch. Make sure you
Just let us
subscribe to
know what-
YouTube. Follow the socials. We got
Spotify also.
yeah, we're getting bigger. We
So
got lots
Twitch-
of plans, lots of stuff in the works. Stay tuned. Make
So-
sure you follow along. Help
Orders
get
the
us
boys
to
out.
100.
Just let us know in the comments for the Twitch what games you want us to play there, and we'll definitely get those suggestions and play those games.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, just comment. We just want people to talk to us.
Pasquale's.
Just talk to us.
We just
We're
want some
lowly.
interaction.
We're lonely.
We're in square
We're
boxes.
just bored.
All right.
We really,
talk
we
to
really
us.
are bored with the boys.
Bored with the boys.
All right.
Over and out.
See
See
you
ya.
later.
Bye.
Pasquale's.
Adios.
Bye.